It's only been a few weeks since your return. I can't believe you're taking cases already." I watched as my handsome friend and former lover slid his large frame onto the sofa. I'd been successfully avoiding being alone with Killian since he'd picked Nora, me, and Lance up from Tillman's house after our escape from an alternate dimension where I'd been forced to serve the Dark Lord Marduk. I knew I would eventually have to speak with him. It was just that I had no idea what to say. How could I explain my feelings for him when I couldn't understand or even deal with them myself? I loved Lance. He was my soulmate on so many levels. Unfortunately, during his absence, and my not knowing if we would ever be together again, I'd fallen in love with the man who I'd befriended. Friendship at the base of a love affair made for a solid foundation. It wasn't easy to ignore, but ignore it I must. I didn't live in a society where women could have multiple husbands. Even if I did, the two men that I loved would never agree with it. The fact was that no matter how I felt about Killian, I was a married woman whose husband had reunited with her after suffering a separation that neither of us wanted. Since my basic nature is to be monogamous, and I've always taken pride and great pains in honoring my word, my husband's return was enough to keep me on the straight and narrow, even if I didn't actually love him. Of course, I did love him. Being faithful should have come easy, but it didn't. I'd found my mind tormented and confused since Lance's return. Killian had insisted on remaining in residence, giving one excuse after the other as to his reasoning. I hadn't the heart to kick him out. Nor was I sure that I wanted him to go. The thought of him leaving my home and my life had such a final and fatal feel that I could hardly bear it. I finally decided that the only way for me to keep my sanity intact was to focus on something other than my own pathetic reality. I needed those cases more than my clients needed me.